Hello, DGL community. Will you do me a quick favor before we jump into our quick Tuesday tidbit or takeaway? Will you go ahead and subscribe, be a part of the DGL community intentionally? It blesses me, it helps me to continue to grow and to put the word out on these different things that I'm sharing. With that being said, I'm going to go ahead and delve in to this week's content. I told her that I love my dad. I miss my dad. I remember holidays with my dad. I remember Christmases with my dad, and I miss him. Those were the words that one of my 13-year-old beloved middle school students told me many years ago, and those words just resonate with me to this day. Now, she gave those words in a court case in which the judge had asked her on this particular day, "How do you feel about your dad?" The judge was inquiring because my student had actually ended up filing a complaint, and however all of that goes, and her dad was on trial, being held in jail even then for sexually assaulting her in some pretty extreme ways. And so she was in my office and she was sharing with me how when the judge asked her that question, "How do you feel about your dad?" She said, I just miss him. With all of the innocence of a 13-year-old little girl, I miss sitting in his lap. I miss Christmases with him. I miss having him help me learn different things and riding my bike. I miss him. And I said, okay, because I really didn't know where the story was going. And I said, so what did the judge say when you told her that? And she said, the judge said to me, "With all that you know about your dad, you feel that way about him? How can you say you feel that way about him with all that you know that he did to you?" Get this, my 13-year-old student said to me, "Well, I said to the judge, you didn't ask me what I know. You asked me how did I feel. I know that he did the things that I have reported to you. I know that. You asked me how did I feel." I'm telling you all, I use that as a matrix even to this day. Like, how powerful of a lesson is that? To know the difference, to be clear about the difference, to have a way of differentiating what you know and what you feel. And even as a 13-year-old child, being able to have a dichotomy, a friction, a tension between what you know and what you feel, and still doing what you know is right regardless. Because she knew living with her father would not be safe or good for her. She knew that although my heart misses him, I still need to make this very real decision because of these very real facts that I'm clear about. And as a child, she separated the difference and testified against a father based on what she knows, even though her heart felt what it felt. I thought, man, like that's huge. Because many of us don't make necessary decisions because we're waiting on what we know and what we feel to align. Like, some of us know that we're in circumstances where we should have adjusted a long time ago. We're waiting either to hate that position enough, to be angry enough with him or her. We're waiting to be sad enough or irritated enough or whatever that is. We need our feelings to line up with what we know before we will do anything to change our circumstance. And the reality is, for some of us, that may never happen. You may never get mad enough. You may never get angry enough. You may never hate it enough. You may never get sick and tired enough to make a necessary decision because you already know what needs to be done. That's pretty much my Tuesday tidbit. Differentiate. Be clear about what you know and what you feel. And even when those two things do not align, be able to make a decision that is still sound, that is still packed with wisdom, that is still factually based, regardless of what your feelings say about it. There are many people who have tolerated and adjusted some things way too long because they're waiting on their feelings to catch up with what they already know. Take on the courage and the audacity of my 13-year-old student and be able to stand up for yourself, even when your feelings haven't caught up with that stand up yet. That's it. That's my tidbit Tuesday, my Tuesday tidbit. I hope that somehow it helps you to make a sound decision that honors the greatness that's on the inside of you. See you next week. And then I would just want to say this, a quick kudos to those of you who maybe you're watching today and perhaps this video will serve as validation, where you've really had to make some difficult decisions and your heart was not in alignment with what your head knew. And it broke your heart or hurt you to the core to have to make those decisions. And because your heart hurts, it can cause you to second guess what you know that you had to do. Well, let this video serve as confirmation to you, because you know you haven't told me your story. I may not even know who you are that you're watching. But there are moments perhaps when you too have had to make a decision. You have taken the courage to make a decision that hurts your heart, but it's the right thing for you to do. I applaud you. Thank you for standing up for the greatness that's in yourself. You're worthy of that.